You're listening to Cars and Health Bars. Today's Tune In Tuesday is about school friend groups. Listen in to see what group you fit in. So we got all these different groups of people in school. Everybody's got them. Everybody knows who they are. They're different for every school. And we definitely wanted to get into the different kinds of friend groups and just social groups that we had in our school growing up.
Yeah, we had quite a few different groups of people. Had like your athletic kids, band kids, emos.
With us being in our area, we had a different
Rednecks.
breed of, the rednecks.
Meth heads.
Yeah. I would even call like the JRTC crowd. They were kind of they had cliques within
Heads.
JRTC, but they were all like mutually
Yeah.
in the same family tree of.
Like, I remember some like I don't know, not emo, but some like the weirder kids. They were in ROTC, and I was like, y'all just don't fit in here. It just blew my mind that you were even in the class.
Yeah, what are you doing being physical?
Like, yeah, what are you doing in here? What are you doing PT, bruh? Like, they wouldn't let you have dyed hair, like if it wasn't natural. So, like,
I don't remember that. There ain't no way
Yeah.
that still flies now. That's like
it
discrimination.
might.
I don't know.
It might. We're in rural Kentucky, you know.
That is true.
Parents are like, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Ain't none of us dye our hair except for blonde.
Hey, what would you consider our group? Because I mean, we
Us? So, define our group.
like me, you, Brady, Gavin. Like that whole group pretty much that sat together.
I don't
Freshman
know.
year.
See, I never knew what to call us because we didn't.
We weren't like always talking about video games to the point to where they're like, oh, those are
We,
just the
we were
weird nerd
definitely the
gamers.
gamer. Like, we were the gamers for sure.
We were the more chill gamers though, because you got like
Yeah, we weren't like intense.
people that argue whether
Like, me and
FNAF
Brady were
is-
still real athletic, you know?
yeah,
And Gavin. And Luke. Luke was real athletic too.
yeah. There was a difference between our gaming group and the guys who like would compare FNAF
Yeah.
to GTA or whatever.
Oh yeah, for sure. That group is off the chain. Like, they play them games on Steam that you don't want to see your friends on.
He's over here saying that he was playing the forest and cut down every single tree in the forest, even though they
Yeah.
regrow. Like he out here
Yeah.
just trying to impress me. Like
That's what he's telling his crush in class. Like, hey, I cut down every tree on this map.
I've put 800,000 hours in this survival game, and I haven't moved in 12 hours.
I got a shit bucket.
That's right. Playing Battlefield. I mean, yeah, like you said, that kind of set us apart. And plus, too, like, a lot of the times the gamers are the rejects, but I would say, like, we were just kind of the people that were mutual friends with, like, a bigger
Everyone.
spectrum, especially, like,
How
Gavin.
old's groups?
Gavin was, like, friends with everybody in high school.
Shoot, I was friends with everyone too. I don't think I ever had issues with hardly anyone.
I wasn't friends with like everybody, but nobody really had any problems with me. I just was very introverted and stayed to myself for the most part. It took me
There was definitely a few people that were like introverts in our school.
yeah. I definitely I even had a hard time opening up back whenever I first moved to our school because I just got pulled from my last school because I was kind of under the impression that I was going to only be at Jordan's school for a short amount of time and I was going to go back to my home school. So I was trying not to make too many friends because I was worried that, I'm going to make relationships with these people and not even get to go to school with them no more. I'm just going to go back to my regular school. And lo and behold, that didn't happen. And I ended up graduating, same place Jordan went, our school. So it was kind of weird because I didn't really have that feeling of wanting to open up to anybody. It was kind of weird how me and Jordan even met. I clicked with a friend, one of Jordan's friends. I just don't even know how. I think really my adopted sister was friends with this particular guy, and I think we kind of meshed that way that we were in a class. But I mean, it went so far to like me being introverted, I'm always scanning my environment, just checking people out, making my own opinions out of people just by their looks. Don't ever do that. It's
Sigma
terrible.
male over here.
Yeah, I looked right at Jordan, who sat exactly in front of me. I'm like, look at this dude. I'm like, this is the goofiest looking dude. I'm never gonna talk to this guy ever.
Look
Like,
at that boy. Damn, boy.
and then my wife was in the same class, and I was like looking at her. I'm like, yeah, I don't know about this girl either. Like, lo and behold, me and her barely started talking in this class. I remember the first thing she said to me. We were in like a group project, and she was like standing kind of close to me, and at the time I was just putting on my dad's cologne before school, and she goes, "You smell good." I was like, what in the world? Like, don't ever tell an introvert that. That just, like, she freaked me out so bad. But yeah, we always say it's the first thing she's ever said to me. I don't think me and Jordan ever said a word to each other in that class, but we ended up being friends that same year. And
I don't like talk to people unless they talk to me.
Yeah, that's pretty much the way I was. And even if you did talk to me, I had a hard time continuing that conversation. And then we had the whole thing in math class, throw away my Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I'll never forget that. That was the best thing I've ever heard.
Just, how you just mess with a sub whenever you have a sub
Yeah.
there. Like, we had like this
Like, watch out. It's a weird kid.
Yeah, we had the snack cart that came around, and for whatever reason, like, I finished my Coke, and I'm like, I'm gonna mess with this sub, and I looked there like, I throw away my Coca-Cola.
Can you imagine that cart like running out of something and they still knock on the door? Can you imagine like all the kids going to riot? Especially, there's another group of kids.
What?
The deans, as I like to call them. Would you care to explain to our viewers what deans are?
Dean is a man of his own nature. I don't know if there is that. Dude, I'm telling you, this is the kind of guy. He's we don't hate on him. He's a friend of ours. We pick on him because he likes getting picked on.
A friend. He's like, at best.
Don't think we're giving him too hard of a time because he gives it right back.
I am. I don't care.
But he's the kind of guy where, like, he is not starving by no means. He gets fed at home. He's not this kid that's, like, he got a bad home life. His mom cares for him. He's just on another level. Like,
he's a different type of guy.
Our friend tells this story where he is in the process of sitting down with his food, and Dean looks over at him and goes, "Hey, you gonna finish that hamburger?" And
I mean, he took a bite.
Apparently, he turned away for a minute, and he took his hamburger off his plate and just started eating it anyways.
Can you imagine? That's like jail, bro. You gonna die for that. Like, when you steal food from a high school kid in the cafeteria, he's already eating shitty food, bro.
Yeah. Low-calorie meals.
It was like a feral dog.
Dude, yeah. Dean was a special breed of person. We really wanted to dedicate a whole episode to him, but he's just like, it's so hard not to talk about him.
No, we gotta dedicate an episode to him. We can't talk about him too much. But I was thinking of other people like BM.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, for sure.
Dude, He was one of those people that struggle with the same struggle I struggle with, where I can't grow I grow the most patchiest facial hair ever, except I'm the kind, I at least have the brain to know that looks terrible and shave it off. So I just kind of rock the small mustache that I've got, if you even want to call it that. But dude, this guy, he would just let it grow, and he looked like Wolverine. Like, he looked like somebody turning into a dire wolf off Fable or something. Like, at some point you just gotta give up on it.
Well, it's not even just his appearance. I mean, the way he acted.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, I had a few classes with him. I don't really remember anything in particular, just that he was always like,
dude, he was out there.
Something was always happening. There was never a dull moment around him.
I had him in a history class, and dude, he would disrupt class so much that the teacher would just send him out in the hall on a daily basis. He'd just be like, "MB, go in the hallway," and like, he would just say random stuff and disrupt class. Like, he'd just be like, "Guys, I have a revolutionary idea." Be like, "What? It's like, we should make cereal milk. Like, no cereal, just have bottled cereal milk. And I mean, it's whatever. It's an idea, but like, he'd be disrupting class to say something like that. That's the kind of stuff he would stop class for.
Yeah, he absolutely would. He'd always talk super loud.
Oh, yeah.
I see about another group of people. There's like the teachers' pets kind of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's like the different groups of girls too. Now, I didn't pay attention to a lot of the girls, but so I remember there's like the more preppy ones, and then there's the athletic ones.
Yeah.
And I remember a few girls that I would classify as bitches. In particular, Zach's sister.
Yeah. Yes.
I can remember multiple occasions. And I just like wish I would have said something looking back. Yeah, I never said nothing because she is a girl, but she deserved me to call her a bitch, I think.
Some people just needed a reality check, and they left high school unchecked.
For sure.
I think high school's just a place for you to get yourself in check before you get released.
It's like the swamp, and you hope you don't get swamp AIDS.
Yeah.
And you're happy to make it out alive.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, high school just prepares you to not be a terrible person out here, and it shows that a lot of people didn't pick that up.
Yeah.
Because there's some people that didn't get their reality checks, and it shows now that we're like approaching our mid-20s. There's just people who were like, they thought they ruled the high school. Like, they thought they were the coolest
they'd be
people
driving
ever.
a caddy with their gold chains and stuff by now.
I'd just be pulling up in my Cam Camaro, hitting a lick, see them in drive-thru taking orders. Like, hey man, what's up? How's life going for you? Hey, the nugget alarm's going off, buddy.
Dang.
I mean, it do be like that, or like, yeah, it do be like that.
I mean, you for sure have an opportunity in high school to really do something with your life if you want.
I get it. Some people are working remedial jobs because they're in school or whatever, but there'd be a lot of people that that's not the case at all.
Yeah, for sure. That's your only source of income.
Yeah, and I will say I've been to both schools. Granted, I didn't finish high school at the other school, but I will say, looking back, there a lot more of the preppy girls, I would say, were like a lot nicer. They were at least approachable. They're like the preppy girls where we graduated. God, dude, like some of them were like,
for sure, it's like you can't even be a nice person to them.
It's like a status. It's like if you talk, I can't be seen talking to you. Like, are you serious? Like, man.
I wish I could just go back and just like call them out.
Yeah. You're going nowhere in life. You need to stop being so rude.
For real, man. Like, I don't know. Girls have a lot going on in high school, I guess, but
yeah,
for sure there were some bitches. Like, they took it too far.
I think a lot too. Like, people, especially like with dating in high school, people just like they're so shallow and like
as a status more than anything, really, and that's not what it's about.
Yeah, I mean, if you look back at your high school and just look at like, oh, who is the power couple? I didn't date at
all in high school,
Like all these couples that they're like, oh my god, they're the best couple ever, and they're either like got a kid and aren't together no more, or like not together completely, like
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just really glad that I found me one and took her all the way. I wish the same thing happened to you, but dude, I feel so bad that you're still in the dating scene. It's terrible, dude.
I wouldn't say I'm in the dating scene. I'm not.
I wouldn't want to be if I were you.
It's the pain. I've tried like looking.
My wife knows if she ever divorces me, I'm not going to be in the market for the rest of my life. I'm going to be.
It's just going to be me in a garage for the rest of our lives at that point. And Tyler, I guess Tyler could join if he ever gets dumped. Like, oh, okay, Tyler, back to the suicide plan. Let's get it.
I'm getting lonely. Oh wait, I got some wrenches to turn.
You know what else we can talk about? The parking at high school, like the parking scene, the car scene, like of the high school.
Yeah, I mean, you had like a little bit of a fender bender in the high school.
No, it wasn't really nothing, but yeah.
Man, nobody. Yeah, I mean, we kind of got in on it the last time. Like nobody could drive a manual. Like
No one can drive a manual, bro. I don't know why.
I'm telling you, dude. Like there's probably
And then
like,
there's Caleb. You had your tuner scene people at. Caleb just had every tuner flock around, like everyone that wanted a tuner car.
Caleb had the coolest cars and still does, dude. Caleb's never
Yeah.
had a bad vehicle. He has every like Caleb's just got really, really good taste.
Yeah, for sure.
And I
And he
mean,
can make something that like an IS that don't look good. He can make it look good, you know.
Caleb is like your pinnacle of like he's already a mechanic, but he be staying after hours and wrenching on his own stuff. Like he is like the
Yeah,
pinnacle of like
that's mechanic life right there, dude.
yeah, that like working on your own stuff after hours. After you done spent eight,
Yeah,
10 hours working on everybody else's stuff, you got your own
yeah.
thing in there, souping it
Yeah,
up.
you work at a dealer, it's like that sometimes. Like if all the dealers are like kids our age, right? Like Ford was, dude, you'll have like half the fucking shop staying after working on their shit boxes. It's awesome. Everyone just don't give a fuck about their vehicles.
The truck scene was crazy in school, like because
For
you
sure.
had this like
The
entitlement.
preppy kid, and then
Oh
like
yeah, dude, daddy's money
yeah,
guys, daddy's truck, daddy's
it's
money.
all daddy's money. Like it's like a status. Like oh, my dad's richer than yours, but actually I'm gonna act like it's mine.
Dude, the thing that freaking killed me the most is like the way those rednecks would wear their hats, where they would literally crush
Yeah,
the bill as tight as they could. Like it's not
yeah.
even serving its purpose anymore of like getting the sun out of your eyes. You just look like an idiot. Or like whenever they set their hat barely on their head, that irritated the crap out of me. Like, what are you doing?
But
Like,
they actually walk around like that.
yeah, I know one guy specifically, and I'm pretty good friends with him. He would do that, and he knows that he looked like a dummy, but that was just the move. Put a
That's
dip
the
can in
move.
your back pocket, brother. I tell you
Have
what.
the fishing hook on your bill.
Oh yeah, that I feel like that kind of died out in middle school, but I know Dean still
Oh, I
rocked that.
saw I saw that all the time in high school. I was like, I've never seen any of these motherfuckers fish or talk about it.
It's more I saw more of the dip can lid wrapped around the hat than I did the fish hook.
Dip can lid wrapped around the
Yeah, did
hat.
you never see that?
They'd let kids walk around with a fucking dip can like on their hat, but I could walk around with a fake gun around my neck or a bullet. I mean, not a gun,
Well,
a
my
bullet.
before I came to your school, I was super big into wrestling in middle school, like big time. Like I
Yeah,
was into it.
I like wrestling a lot in middle school too.
I had a wrestling shirt of like my favorite wrestler at the time or whatever, and I was wearing it to school. They pulled me out of class and was like, "Hey, you're gonna have to go to Lost and Found and put on a different shirt that promotes violence or whatever." And I'm like, "Are you serious?" And I couldn't wear that shirt to school.
Wow.
And
I
then
wish I was just like how I am now as a kid. I'd just be like, "Are you shitting me?"
yeah. That happened to me twice because I wore a wrestling shirt one time. I think that time they let me wear it the rest of the day, but told me not to wear it back. But I know for sure I wore a Ahmed shirt to school that said "I kill
Oh
you,"
my god.
and they made me take that shirt off, and put on a random Lost and Found shirt. I
Yeah, I've had a few Tony Hawk shirts that had like skulls on them, and they got mad about that. I remember in elementary school. Yeah,
just
see, you didn't grow up in like this high school scene. Like the elementary school was the same fucking way. It was preppy kids and and even in elementary school, I remember like they'd hang out with their own like preppy kid self like group.
yeah yeah
It's always like that since like elementary school, dude.
I'm really really hoping that my daughter don't end up being like
I
I'm
don't think she will. Well,
I
yeah, my sister turned out good.
I think she's going to kind of end up being like my wife, but I don't know because she talks to like just going by what her teacher says. She literally talks to everybody. Like she'll be at one end of the class and she'll be doing like blocks and stuff, and then she'll stop doing that and go to the kitchen side and play with those kids. Like she is like a freaking social butterfly right now. Like that's the way kind of Trisha is. She can walk up to anybody and talk about anything.
For sure, I remember she was like that in elementary school.
Like she get moved for talking and like just talk to the next person.
I
beside her.
remember she'd like talk to me randomly, and it kind of weirded me out. I'm like, I don't even know you that well. I remember that
She was
now.
just like that, dude. She just talked to anybody. It's like
Like I was pretty antisocial, like in elementary school, so like it was weird.
that's the kind of way I was whenever she first talked to me. I'm like, who are you?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, if she wouldn't have done that, I don't know where I'd be because I definitely wouldn't have reached out. I don't think I talked to a single girl other than her, really. I mean, I might have had a small little sidebar here and there with somebody, but like, really, she was the only girl I talked to just because I was like, I don't know. I'm just like, my brain, I'm just like that typical cartoon of like a guy who's bad with girls. I just walk up to a girl and it's like, my brain's like, hey, man, let's just stop working for a little while. Like I've always been terrible talking to women.
That's how some of them like preppy girls were too. Like their brain would just shut off. Like they were actually dumb.
Oh my god, dude. Especially like if you'd watch like a preppy girl walk up to like a guy she likes, like one of the football players, and she would
Yeah.
just act like full dummy. Like she'd just say the stupidest stuff in the world.
He'd just be like, "Hey, Heather Pacers." Like what? Oh my god.
Oh my god, what color is your car? Oh my god, I love that color. No matter what he
What
says.
color's your Silverado? It's not even his. It's like grandpa's work truck.
There could just be a guy walking around with a football jersey for the football game that night. She'd be like, "Oh my god, are
Yeah.
you going to the football game tonight?" Like he's wearing a football jersey.
That was like they were like JROTC kids about that shit though.
Oh, with like wearing the uniforms and
Yeah,
stuff.
because remember when they had the home games, they'd always be wearing them right for school let out.
Yeah, I don't know if the coach made him do that or not. That'd be a question for Gavin because Gavin played. I don't think Gavin
Yeah,
played all the way through. I think he played like halfway through high school.
he did.
Yeah, but I think that's the reason Gavin like had so many friends was because he was kind of part of the football guys and dude there. Oh my God, we can definitely say his
There
name
was your
because
own groups in the football team too. Like it was
speak
all like that.
speaking of a football player that like just got along with everybody, dude. Jacob Parmley, dude, he was like God. That
Yeah,
guy,
he's always
that guy was
super
so
chill.
good. He was like, I don't, dude. If you hated him, there was something wrong with you because that guy
Yeah,
was like the
I used
chillest
to
guy
be
ever.
friends with him. Like he tried to message me not too long ago. I feel bad about it, but I didn't like respond because I
Uh,
just don't. Like, I ain't got time for people, man.
yeah, I feel that for sure. Like,
And like he works with my sister. He works at Walmart.
oh, cool. Yeah, I didn't know if he went to school or what life ended up happening with him. But yeah, he
He
was like,
still lives with his dad, I think.
oh, cool. I know a lot of people that went off to school or like they're kind of, we're kind of in the
Yeah.
time of our life. People are starting to come back home. One of the girls I went to my other school with, like middle school, elementary school, I think I haven't ran into her at work, but I've been getting like emails from a name that like her name, and I think I saw her walking around. I'm pretty sure it's the same person. I'm like, ain't no way, because she's in school, and I guess she's done with whatever schooling she was doing. But like you said, I can't talk to women, so even if I seen her, I'd probably be like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, I'll take your word for it.
Went to school in the airport you work. What'd she go to school for?
I don't know. I have no telling,
Be
but
weird that some girl would be in your field. That's not
no,
common.
no, no, not in like machining. She's in like the environmental health and safety department.
Oh, okay. I thought you
There's
meant like machining. I was like,
no,
that's wild.
dude. There's so many different departments where I work at.
Like I've never even seen but like one female mechanic that was like a good mechanic, not like a lube tech who wanted to be a car girl.
There was one female machinist at my last job, and I just missed her. She got fired before I came along, but she was like super toxic. Like she was training
Really?
at the same time as my coworker was, and he was kind of moving a little bit faster than she was. He was picking it up a lot quicker, and she got really mad and was like planting stuff on him, like she like hid his end of shift report or something like that, and was like saying, "Yeah, he didn't give me shift report." Whenever really she was the one that hid it.
Damn.
Yeah, and she just kept doing really malicious stuff and like talking crap about him, so they ended up getting rid of her. That's the only female machinist I've ever known, and I didn't even meet her. I just heard stories.
What about like the after school scene of high school? Did you know anything about like that? Because I don't. I never was into that because I worked.
I'd go to a lot of truck meets at Walmart, which was like, oh man,
You went to those?
yes sir.
It's funny. I never went to them, but now I go to like Roll King and sit around sometimes.
Oh, I didn't have like, I mean, I want to say I was with my wife, but like she'd stayed grounded all the time. So I would just like after work, especially because back whenever I was working just past your
Yeah.
house, I was like super close to Walmart. Usually I'd get off at like 11 anyways, or like between 8 o'clock and 11. So me and Cookie, we'd just go to truck meets or whatever. Dude, those
Gotcha.
truck meets got wild, like super wild. I know one time where let's see, you probably wouldn't even know these people if I threw out random initials. Definitely CG, really tall guy, really confrontational.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This lower classman that I was in trade school with, and he's one of these guys. Like, I don't even care. He crybaby. Like, he really was. He was one of those guys where, like, he literally said to this guy, he's like, I'm going back and getting my brother. And this actually happened. Well, GC saw him driving through the parking lot, and you know him. He kind of pushes the boundaries with people and stuff like that. That's just kind of how he rolls. Well, he had like I don't know.
Must be a condiment cracker.
Yeah, for sure. He had like a slushie or whatever. He had like some sort of ice cream, and he threw it at his truck, which definitely crossed the line. But like, this guy went crazy. Like, this little crybaby guy, he's like, I'm going to get my brother, which was, an upperclassman from us. He might have even been graduated. If he wasn't, he was a senior. And legit, he went, washed his truck, got his brother, and brought him. And like, him and GC were about to fight, and he's like, "Are you serious? Are you really gonna fight for your little crybaby brother?" Like, it's pretty sad. Like, I'd feel, I don't know, man. That didn't sit right.
Yeah,
with
that's
me. Like, God, dude, take a joke.
Like, I'd defend my brother, I guess, but
I mean, it didn't even get in his truck. Like, it just like dirtied up the outside, and it was ice cream, dude. Yeah. It's not like he threw rocks at your truck or nothing.
Yeah,
it's kind of too extreme on both ends, but I don't know. It's just the kind of stuff you'd see at Walmart at that time of night. I know, like, SM, really big guy. SM, really big, like, big into drugs. Like, you might have been there that night or at least heard the story, but dude, he was like super, super high, like on like all kinds of crazy. He was telling us what drugs he was on, which I wouldn't have known anyway. Yeah.
Who do you hang around?
SM. I'm gonna type it in the boys.
All right. Oh, okay. That's what I thought.
Dude, he was like on drugs, whatever, which was, I guess, kind of normal. They would just some guys would just get stoned and come to Walmart, but we were just up there.
That's what he does.
Hanging out, doing whatever, and first he just gets kind of wild. Like, this guy who was in a really crappy car was like, "I bet you won't headbutt my hood, or I bet you can't dent it." And first he was kicking it and stuff, and then he headbutted it, and then he just like got on the hood and started bouncing and stuff. He popped a radiator hose off by like the hood like kept beating up against the upper clamp, and it just knocked it loose.
My God.
So you had just like coolant running down in the parking lot. And then that same night, like, we were just hanging out, and there's just this, they were just daring him to do stupid stuff. And they're like, "I bet you won't go ask that woman for her number." And this just poor woman, like, just getting her groceries late at night, and he books it down to the other end of the parking lot, and he's just like, hey, give me your number. And she's like running as fast as she can to her car. And like, after she gets in her car, he just starts knocking on the window like, hey. And she just ended up driving off. God, that was so cursed. Like, that whole night was so cursed. Imagine. That whole night was cursed. It was funny. Like, back then I was just driving my granny's Altima too, so that was like a whole nother thing.
Dude, I remember some guy you're talking about, and BZ.
Yeah. Are you talking about the tall one?
BZ?
Yeah.
Who always like make bodyguards?
Did he hang around a BM?
So
are you talking about
talking about, yes.
Okay, yeah.
So him and SM were out, and me and a few other people. He had his Toyota Celica, and he was like, "Bruh, I bet you that you can't outpull my Celica." So he gave him the chain, right? Because SM's a big boy. I mean, he went out like a cow, like he's huge. I wouldn't be damned if he actually that silica couldn't move him.
That's crazy.
Like it was just sitting there spinning the tires, dude. He could keep it.
That reminds me of another group, just like that stoner crowd, which they weren't.
Oh yeah,
they.
Kyle.
It's weird because the stoner crowd wasn't really like they weren't together. They were just sprawled out. Like oh my god, yeah. There's this one time where like one of the biggest stoners in the school, CK, you know.
Yeah.
This other kid, it was I don't even remember what his name was, but dude, he was just HS. He was just talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. He's just like one of these guys that just talks his head off, and like this stoner guy just looks at him and goes, "Dude, you got to take a breath. You're talking or so, you're gonna have to tell it because I don't remember exactly what he said."
Okay, so I don't mind saying Kyle's name. Kyle's like not gonna care, bro. Like if he ever watches this, I doubt he will. So Kyle Cobb and SH, this epic gamer boy, if you will. So Kyle is big stoner. Like he don't give a fuck about nothing. Right? He's just high as hell. He's like living it up, and he's in fucking wind doing not shit. And me, him, and this other girl are sitting there all talking, just chilling. And when you know it, SH is sitting next to me. Of course, you know, can't be sitting across the room from me. He just starts like talking about like some Destiny or Skyrim shit. I can't even remember, but he was just talking my head off. Dude. He's like, he's going off like a typewriter, but he just like wouldn't breathe. He just kept talking. And he eventually got out of breath. He's like, like breathing in, bro. And Kyle was just like, "Hey, bro, you gotta start slowing it down, dude. You can't even fucking breathe, man." And that dude didn't even acknowledge it. He just kept fucking going, bro.
Dude, and like this same guy, like if you quit paying attention to him for like half a second, he would poke your shoulder like like he was typing on a typewriter. He'd be like, hey, and he wouldn't stop
like
until
he's
you
earning money every time he presses it, bro. Like he's just pressing the shit out of it.
He would not stop poking you until you acknowledged him and you'd get back into the conversation.
I remember he'd do it so hard it hurt my like shoulder there.
God, dude.
Like, bro, you fucking about to get hit. Like, stop.
That guy was wild, dude. Like, I can't believe we seen him out in public not long ago.
We gotta get an interview. Like, we'll be like the news.
Is it true you still poke people's shoulders?
Like, we'll be like a hobo app somewhere and we'll come up like the news.
Are you going to be able to do this interview without taking a breath? Yeah, and one more group of people before we jump off there. For me, especially, I was in that country guy group. You know, outside of my direct friend group.
Oakley wearing.
You had the different redneck guys. You had the super preppy, like they bought their stuff to like look like a country guy, and then you had the actual rednecks who bought their Carhartt because they were out there working in the cow field after school, or they're wearing their boots because they got to go. Like me, I know there was a couple times, especially sophomore year, my dad pulled me out of school just so I could help him rake hay. Like I was definitely one of those people that would I would dress Southern, but that was just because I was like, especially during high school, every single afternoon right after I got off the bus or got home, I'd jump on that four-wheeler and I'd go count cows, check all the cows, check all the feed, check all the fence. Like I was actually going home to work on the farm. And you had people like PJ that he never, his boots had never seen a speck of dust.
Wait, PJ, you gotta type that one out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's not no redneck, bro. He ain't no.
And he acted like it too.
Him.
And
I'm rednecker than him. Like I ain't even fucking redneck.
This style might have settled in a little bit since I was in high school, but definitely a red flag for those country guys who just kind of dress to impress more of instead of work. They would always wear those flannels and wear a Carhartt vest over top of the flannels. Like Those guys,
Yeah, every time.
I knew one guy that actually worked cows
I've
after
never seen
school.
anyone wear vests like and work in it.
I will say I don't even know his name. I know he graduated a grade below us, but we always called him Tater. He actually like showed cows. He took care of cows. He was the only one I saw that actually like wore that, and you could tell too because he'd have like barbed wire that ripped into it. Like you could tell he was going home and working. Like
Yeah,
my boots that I wore in high school, I still have to this day, dude. Them things are like
I do too.
they're war. Like they're really
Mine
war.
are too, because I was always working in those suckers.
Like I'm telling you, man, I got boots that I wear out, but like these guys, they didn't own an acre of land. They were going home to the subdivision to go watch TV or whatever after school. I'm out here in the cow field actually working. You got to earn that Carhartt, buddy.
What about like after school activities? We can talk about that real quick too.
I mean,
Like there's like the preppy side of that too.
I was a little cringe. I wore my bass fishing jersey to school, which it was just a hoodie, but I still kind of felt cool whenever I was wearing it. I was like, yeah, I'm in the bass fishing team. But that's the only thing I really did outside of school. But
I didn't do nothing really. I just worked.
yeah, well after I got to where I could co-op, I was working like crazy. But I had that time period where I was working at Food Line. That was weird.
I pretty much didn't have a choice. I was working. That's my life. You gonna work.
Yeah, my dad kind of gave me that ultimatum. He was like, "You got a truck, you're gonna have to get a job." I'm like, I said that's fine. I said I have one thing. I'm not working in fast food. That's just not. I ain't doing it. I'm not a people person. I don't want to be around people. So I got lucky and found myself stocking shelves, which I had no problem with.
Yeah, that's easy, bro.
Especially above minimum wage at the time. I think it was like $8 an hour or something.
I came in one time.
To my work?
At Food Line.
I don't remember.
I met you back there one time. I remember.
I don't
Can't remember what we were doing, but I remember I met you back there in the parking lot when you were getting off or something.
That's weird. Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, I remember. It's like I just now remember. I literally would never remember this, but somehow I did.
Yeah, I don't remember at all. Do you have any? Do you know of anything else before we close out?
The best meme of high school was made by me. That's all I have to say. Bodyguards.
Okay. We'll have to get into that afterwards because I feel like this might not be something that needs to be said on there.
Bodyguards.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the show. This mini-series is here for a limited time, so make sure you grab the episodes when they're hot and fresh on Tuesdays around 6 p.m. A little bit of a later show for you guys, and we will see you on Cars and Elf Bars Friday morning.